Men grow cold as girls grow old.
Hollywood, a place where dreams come true, but also a world where temptations run rampant. From the early days of Charlie Chaplin to the present, drugs have cast a haunting shadow over the lives of many beloved celebrities. Brace yourself for an eye-opening journey that will leave you questioning the price of fame. And with that, here are the 10 worst drug addicts in Hollywood history. Number 1. John Belushi. According to Vanity Fair, the 1980 film The Blues Brothers, which Belushi starred in alongside Dan Aykroyd, had a designated budget for cocaine listed on its balance sheet. However, the drug use reached even more extreme levels during the production of Belushi's final film, Neighbors. In a documentary, producer Richard Zanuck recalls the need for off-camera support to prevent the comedian from toppling over during filming. Zanuck explains that Belushi had lost control and no one could rein him in. During Belushi's last 6 months in New York, drug-fueled all-night parties were a regular occurrence. Marcia Resnick, a photographer working on a book titled Punks, Poets, and Provocateurs, New York City Bad Boys, 1977 to 1982, crossed paths with Belushi in the underground VIP room of the Tribeca After Hours spot called AM/PM. Resnick approached him about a photography session and he expressed interest. 6 months later, Belushi contacted Resnick again, but this time it would be their last encounter in New York City. He invited her to a friend's apartment, and Resnick brought the contact sheets from their previous shoot. Tragically, just 5 days later, Belushi was discovered dead from an overdose in a bungalow at the Chateau Marmont Hotel in West Hollywood. The news shocked everyone, leaving a lasting impact on Resnick's memory. His cause of death was attributed to a speedball, a lethal mixture of heroin and cocaine. Number 2. Chris Farley. Farley battled a multitude of addictions, including cocaine, heroin, alcohol, marijuana, mushrooms, and overeating. Despite numerous attempts at recovery, such as attending Overeaters Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous, as well as undergoing rehab and weight loss programs, Farley struggled to overcome his demons. Over the course of his final 2 years, he made multiple trips to various treatment centers, exploring different approaches to recovery. Sadly, none of these endeavors proved successful, and he consistently relapsed. Close friends and family, including associates from Saturday Night Live such as Lorne Michaels, Dan Aykroyd, David Spade, Tom Arnold, and his manager, were well aware of Farley's addiction issues. They made efforts to support him and encourage him to break free from drugs. However, he repeatedly fell back into his old habits. The only respite from his addiction came when he was working, as the studios wanted to protect their investment and ensured he stayed clean while on set. For instance, during the making of the film Almost Heroes, Farley was required to attend Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, and he was closely monitored, particularly when he was slated to play Shrek. There were moments when it seemed like Farley was making progress. He briefly sought treatment at the Hazelden Detox Center in Minneapolis, attended Mass, and looked forward to Christmas. His friend, Gillian Seeley, noted his enthusiasm for his role in Almost Heroes. However, these glimmers of hope were short-lived. On December 14, 1997, Farley began a spree of bar hopping, indulging in excessive alcohol and narcotics. Tragically, Chris Farley was found dead in his Chicago apartment on December 18, 1997, by his brother, John. Toxicology reports revealed traces of cocaine, morphine, and marijuana in his system. In addition, he suffered from advanced heart disease, leading to arterial blockages. In his final moments, Farley had been with a call girl who stole from him, took pictures as he collapsed, and then left after leaving a note. His last words were a plea: "Don't leave me." Number 3. Judy Garland. During the explosive rise of American cinema, numerous stars and starlets emerged, captivating the public's hearts. Among them, one name stands out as both iconic and beloved: Judy Garland. Even today, fans of all ages continue to adore the actress for her endearing, childlike demeanor and her enchanting singing voice. In 2019, moviegoers still held dear her unforgettable portrayal of Dorothy Gale, the innocent yet resilient protagonist in the timeless classic The Wizard of Oz, 1939, widely hailed as one of the greatest films ever made. However, Garland's real-life journey was far from a stroll down a shining yellow brick road. Instead, she encountered numerous dark forests on her path to fame, ultimately leading to her tragic demise. Needless to say, the life of a Hollywood icon is no easy feat, especially for someone so young. During the filming of Babes in Arms and Love Finds Andy Hardy, Judy Garland turned to pep pills to cope with the grueling demands of her work, a practice common among child stars of that era. Additionally, she was prescribed sleeping pills to conserve her energy. As the production of The Wizard of Oz unfolded, Garland's reliance on drugs deepened. Amphetamines and barbiturates became her crutch, enabling her to maintain a slender figure and seemingly boundless energy. Behind the facade of stardom, the actress unknowingly descended into the grip of addiction. Despite managing to secure a few acting roles following her remarkable performance as Dorothy, Garland's addiction and the resulting behavioral issues, including chronic tardiness, ultimately led to her downfall. In the blink of an eye, an idol slipped from her pedestal, crashing onto the unforgiving floor of reality. This marked one of the most tragic cases of drug addiction since the untimely demise of Marilyn Monroe. On June 22, 1969, the world mourned as Judy Garland succumbed to a barbiturate overdose at the age of 47. Judy Garland's story serves as a poignant reminder that the glamorous facade of Hollywood often conceals the struggles and personal demons faced by its brightest stars. It serves as a warning about the sacrifices fame demands and the delicate reality behind the glittering world of Hollywood. Number 4. Elvis Presley. At the age of 42, Elvis Presley was found unconscious by his girlfriend, Ginger Alden, in the bathroom of his Memphis mansion, Graceland. He was rushed to Baptist Memorial Hospital, chosen for its discretion, where doctors worked to revive him but were unsuccessful. Elvis was pronounced dead. Later that day, a team of pathologists, including doctors Eric Muirhead, Jerry Francisco, and Noel Floredo, conducted a 2-hour post-mortem examination. However, Dr. Francisco, who only observed the autopsy, took it upon himself to announce to the press, without the agreement of the other pathologists, that preliminary findings suggested Elvis had died from a cardiac arrhythmia and that drugs were not involved. It was later revealed that this statement was untrue. Doctors Muirhead and Floredo admitted that Dr. Francisco had been covering up the actual cause of death at the request of Elvis's family, who were concerned about the singer's reputation. They did not want the world to know that the rock star, who had received a special badge from President Richard Nixon's Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs, had died from a drug overdose. Several weeks later, the toxicology report showed that Elvis had high levels of opiates, including Dilaudid, Percodan, Demerol, codeine, and Quaaludes, in his blood. The examination also revealed evidence of severe and chronic constipation, diabetes, and glaucoma. Elvis's actual cause of death was quite common but embarrassing. He was sitting on the toilet, straining excessively to have a bowel movement, which put significant pressure on his heart and aorta. It is likely that he suffered a massive heart attack and fell to the floor. However, Elvis's constipation was not ordinary. His medicine chest contained vials of medications in doses that responsible doctors would not have prescribed. Elvis had a long history of opiate abuse, which not only caused pain relief but also severe constipation. He abused various substances, including antihistamines, Valium, barbiturates, Quaaludes, sleeping pills, hormones, and laxatives to address his constipation. Number 5. Corey Monteith. Corey Monteith's battle with substance abuse began at a young age, reportedly starting when he was just 13. Despite his early struggles, he attempted his first stint in rehab at 19, which unfortunately proved unsuccessful. When Monteith was considered for the role of an addict in the film Mechanic, director Josh C. Waller had concerns about his appearance not aligning with the character's drug-related struggles. This highlights a common issue where serious drug problems can go unnoticed in individuals who may outwardly appear healthy and prosperous. explains addiction psychologist expert John Marsden from King's College, London. While certain drugs like methamphetamine can visibly impact physical health, such as the notorious meth mouth, the effects of many drugs are more complex. Marsden explains that the emaciated and worn appearance often associated with heroin addiction is typically a result of the lifestyle surrounding the drug rather than the drug itself. Malnutrition and social isolation due to reliance on crime to sustain the addiction can take a toll on a person's physical appearance. The circumstances surrounding Corey Monte's death remain unclear, but the coroner's ruling stated that it was a tragic accident resulting from an overdose. Some have speculated that his body's lowered tolerance to heroin, which occurred during his recent period of abstinence and rehab, may have contributed to the fatal outcome when he relapsed in Vancouver. It is important to address the widespread misconceptions surrounding addiction, as these misconceptions likely did not provide the support and understanding that Corey Monteith needed in his struggle with addiction. Number 6. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman, a prolific and versatile performer known for his roles in over 50 movies such as Capote, Doubt, and the Hunger Games series, was recognized for his ability to portray complex and unconventional characters. He was equally accomplished on stage, earning Tony Award nominations for his performances in plays like True West, Long Day's Journey into Night, and Death of a Salesman. Hoffman's talent was acknowledged with an Academy Award for his remarkable portrayal of Truman Capote in the film Capote in 2005, and he received additional Oscar nominations for his supporting roles in Charlie Wilson's War in 2007 and Doubt in 2008. His filmography also included notable works like Mission Impossible 3, Moneyball, and his portrayal of a cult leader in The Master, which earned him another Oscar nomination. Tragically, on February 2, 2014, Hoffman was found dead in his Manhattan apartment. Despite his previous struggle with drug addiction in his early 20s and a period of sobriety, he had experienced a relapse in 2012. The New York City Medical Examiner determined that Hoffman's cause of death was acute mixed drug intoxication. The report revealed that he had ingested a lethal combination of drugs, including heroin and cocaine. Amphetamines and benzodiazepines were also found in his system, as authorities discovered a needle in his arm. The medical examiner concluded that his death was accidental. During the investigation, detectives uncovered buprenorphine, a medication used in addiction treatment, in Hoffman's apartment. They also found 50 bags of heroin, various prescription drugs, unused syringes, and a charred spoon, according to reports from ABC News. Number 7. Anna Nicole Smith. In the 1990s, Anna Nicole Smith captured the public's attention as a Playboy playmate. Known for her wild lifestyle and controversial marriage to 89-year-old J. Howard Marshall, a Houston oil tycoon. Following Marshall's death in 1995, just over a year after their marriage, a lawsuit over inheritance added to Smith's notoriety. Her reality show in the early 2000s further propelled her into the spotlight, making her a household name, but also subjecting her to ridicule. Smith's struggle with substance abuse dates back to the early 1990s. According to her friend and alleged former lover, Missy Byram, in her book, You Don't Know Me, Smith's reliance on prescription drugs began after she underwent breast augmentation surgery in her early 20s. Byram revealed that Smith regularly used drugs like Valium, Xanax, Lortabs, Vicodin, and Klonopin, and she seemed unable to break free from their grip. By the early 1990s, Smith was described as a, quote, full-blown drug addict, and a documentary revealed that she had survived an accidental overdose in a Hollywood hotel room in 1994. Tragically, Anna Nicole Smith was found unresponsive in a hotel room in Florida. On February 8, 2007, she was discovered in this state, and despite attempts at resuscitation by a private nurse and subsequent efforts by paramedics, she was pronounced dead later that afternoon upon arrival at the hospital. Broward County Medical Examiner and forensic pathologist Joshua Perper led an investigation into Smith's passing, and the conclusion was, quote, combined drug intoxication as the cause of her death. Number 8. River Phoenix. In 1993, the world was shocked by the tragic death of rising star River Phoenix, who succumbed to a heroin overdose. Phoenix's portrayal of troubled youth in his acting career was eerily mirrored in his own life, inspiring actors like Leonardo DiCaprio. His death shed light on the devastating consequences that can arise from recreational substance use. On the fateful night of October 30th, 1993, River Phoenix visited the Viper Room nightclub in West Hollywood with his girlfriend, Samantha Mathis, and siblings, Joaquin and Rain. He was scheduled to perform with the band P, which included Johnny Depp and Red Hot Chili Peppers members. During the performance, Phoenix expressed feeling unwell. Shortly after leaving the nightclub, he experienced convulsions, seizures, and cardiac arrest. Despite efforts to revive him, he could not be saved. On Halloween morning, 1993, River Phoenix was pronounced dead at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. The official cause of death was heart failure resulting from acute multiple drug intoxication, involving cocaine and morphine, a metabolite of heroin. Prior to his tragic passing, River Phoenix had not been associated with drug abuse or addiction and had never sought rehabilitation. However, his close friend John Frusciante, who had his own history of substance abuse, revealed that he and Phoenix had engaged in a multi-day binge of heroin and cocaine just before Phoenix's death. The intense period of drug use was characterized by a complete lack of sleep for both Frusciante and Phoenix. The combination of cocaine and heroin, along with the exhaustion caused by the binge, likely contributed to River Phoenix's untimely demise. Mathis, his girlfriend, later shared that she was unaware of Phoenix's recent binge, but had noticed a change in his demeanor. Around a month after Phoenix's passing, his mother penned an article for the Los Angeles Times, pondering how many unknown young individuals had lost their lives due to recreational drug use. Number 9. Heath Ledger. In 2008, Heath Ledger tragically passed away due to a deadly combination of 6 prescription drugs. This unfortunate event occurred shortly after his acclaimed role in The Dark Knight, for which he received a posthumous Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor at the 2009 Oscars. Ledger openly acknowledged that the intense nature of the role had placed a significant strain on his life, leading him to rely on painkillers, anti-anxiety medication, and sleeping pills to cope with recurring stress and insomnia. By 2007, despite experiencing professional success, Ledger's personal life had fallen apart. Reports emerged of drug abuse and severe sleep deprivation, with him only managing 2 hours of sleep per night. Additionally, he had recently ended his relationship with Michelle Williams, his beloved girlfriend. Ledger's downward spiral would ultimately lead to his demise. During the filming of his final movie, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, fellow cast members observed him appearing sick, exhausted, and profoundly sorrowful on most days. On January 22, 2008, Ledger's housekeeper and massage therapist discovered him unconscious in his bed. Emergency medical examiners arrived shortly after, but tragically pronounced Ledger dead at the young age of 28, mere minutes after their arrival. Like many celebrities, Heath Ledger battled substance abuse. While heroin and cocaine use were rumored, it was confirmed after his passing that he had been dependent on various prescription drugs. The toxicology report released post-mortem indicated that Ledger's cause of death was a combination of painkillers, anti-anxiety drugs, and sleeping pills. The specific substances found in his system included hydrocodone, oxycodone, diazepam, temazepam, alprazolam, and doxylamine. An opioid overdose can lead to low blood pressure, decreased breathing rate, and even respiratory failure, coma, or death. Sedatives and anti-anxiety medications can cause memory impairment, low blood pressure, and slowed breathing. Overdosing on anti-anxiety medication can also result in coma or death. Ledger had both types of drugs in his system, significantly increasing the likelihood of an overdose and the tragic outcome that, unfortunately, unfolded. Number 10. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe's fame led to addiction, which eventually made it impossible for her to work. Public scrutiny and lack of privacy worsened her depression and anxiety. In 1962, her career was cut short by a likely suicide through a barbiturate overdose. This illustrates how celebrity culture and co-occurring disorders can contribute to addictions. On August 4, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead at her home in Los Angeles. She had consumed a fatal quantity of barbiturates, specifically pentobarbital or Nembutal, and her death was ruled a suicide. The decision was based on her history of mental health problems and previous suicide attempts. Other famous individuals who have died from barbiturate overdoses include Judy Garland and Margaret Sullivan. Marilyn had a lengthy struggle with substance abuse and addiction. She regularly used amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol until her death. Mixing these substances is known to have serious consequences. She primarily used drugs to aid her chronic insomnia, but also battled depression and anxiety. After her death, a variety of drugs were found on her bedside table, including sedatives, opiates, amphetamines, tranquilizers, sleeping pills, and barbiturates. And that wraps up our exploration of some of the darkest chapters in Hollywood history. From the dazzling lights of stardom to the depths of despair, these 10 stars battled their inner demons. Their stories serve as cautionary tales, reminders of the fragility of human existence and the devastating toll addiction can take. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.